All right, Barbara, welcome. So I did a little bit research about you, and I found out that you are passionate about books and writing, and that especially you are kind of like my favorite um, writer, I would say, because I love historical books, historical fictional books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, can you just give us a little bit? Can you tell us about more about yourself?
Um, I've been writing my whole life. I started writing stories when I was about 8, and I had something published in the Cape Times, a
Wow.
tiny little story.
All right, all right, all
And
right.
I can't find it. My kid said to me the other day, "Okay, Mom, if you had something published, prove it." But I can't find that little article, tiny little article, a letter to the editor. And got things published in school magazines, wrote a lot of poetry when I was in my teens, got things published in a book when I was at school. And then had a family and was very, very busy. And I won a poetry competition, an Adam Small poetry competition. And Adam Small gave me the prize. It was one of the highlights of my life.
Wow. Adam
Yeah.
Small. Adam Small. That's
Adam Small.
wow.
Adam Small. So that was long, long ago. And then I did some work. I was a librarian. I was a teacher. I taught, I had a family. I translated books. I studied Montessori education. I did a linguistics course. And I worked as a librarian, as a teacher, but not conventional, teaching literacy to trade unionists and other people. And when I came into the room in the morning, they said, "Viva, comrade, viva." It was.
You're right. All right.
And then I taught a group of children creative writing. Um, and I taught some grades at school. And then I started writing textbooks, English, history, life skills. And all the time I was researching my 2 novels, but I wasn't ready to write. I didn't really have that much time. And then when I had time, I wrote them. And the first one I published in 2020. Is this what you want to know?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Um, COVID was a gift to me. I know a lot of people were sick and dying, and it was terrible. But I liked the fact that I was confined and I couldn't actually go anywhere. I actually had to sit and write. And then I thought, I've got all these friends all over the world. I had my first book, Ida's Line, which is this one. I had this almost ready, it had been through an editor, and I decided to send out a chapter every morning to cheer up all my friends. So I did that for 3 months. And so that forced me to check everything the day before. I would be frantically correcting and checking. And then it went out at 6 o'clock every morning so they could have it with their coffee. And they loved it. And I got a lot of feedback, and I thought, okay, now I'm going to publish it. So after COVID, I published it. I decided to publish it. I didn't know, I had no clue how to begin. So I asked anyone if they knew of a designer, and somebody said yes. So I phoned him. He was so nice. He said, "Send me your manuscript." And he designed everything. An artist who's part of my family did the beautiful cover.
Wow.
And my friends wrote the shout outs for the back. And they wrote reviews. And then I got the books. Then it got printed, cost a lot of money. And so I knew that I would have to work very hard to get the books out the door and get the money back. So I started having book launches. The very first one was in Bot River, where I live, and it was in two gaps between COVID. It was in, I think, at the end of October in 2020, and we made a feast
Mm.
because it was spring, because we were all out and about, and we had a hall packed with people, and I sold dozens of books. It was a huge celebration. And from there on, there were a lot of other launches in and around Cape Town and in the Karoo, in the Garden Route. And then in the meantime, I was busy with the second one, which was also almost finished.
Wow.
And I went the same route, same designer, same printer, same launches. This time I got it into bookshops, got it into 10 bookshops. But because it's self-published, it's very hard to get it into bookshops like Exclusives and other places. And so I went for independent bookshops and couldn't go to festivals because they don't always welcome self-published writers. So I had to arrange all my own events. This one is about Robben Island, about the leper colony on Robben Island. And this is my grandmother who worked there in the leper colony.
Wow.
So my family has a long history on Robben Island, and I've been asked by some activists who were in prison to come at the end of this year to a Robben Island reunion, or to sell my books, to talk about my books, and to talk about the leper colony. So I'm very glad about that little bit of publicity I'm about to get. So yeah, so Herschel, both these books, these two, are about the lesser known story,
Mm.
the history that's not been told.
Yes.
That's what I like.
So when did you
Yeah.
decide to become a writer?
When did I was probably always, I loved writing. Um, I had a very good teacher. I had a very nice teacher at school who gave me a special little exercise book, and that the story about that is in my memoir,
Wow.
about the teacher who gave me this book and said, "Go and write your stories. Don't worry about spelling, punctuation, or what anybody thinks. Just go and write."
Wow.
And when I was about 10 and I started writing stories.
So you will be here
Yeah,
next Tuesday on the 21st of April, and we are
I
really
will.
excited. So what can we expect from you?
Well, I'll talk about my 3 books. I've sent some questions, and I'd also like to talk about self-publishing.
Yeah.
Um, I know there are a lot of young people who want to know about self-publishing. I'm very happy to talk about that and about the marketing side of it, what you actually have to do. Yeah, so I'm happy. People can ask me whatever they like.